Welcome to World Facts Channel. Another day, another story. Throughout its history, Istanbul has come under the rule of many different civilizations. However, one of the most important historical events of the city is considered to be the conquest that took place in 1453. In this article, you can find detailed information about the conquest of Istanbul. Before the conquest, Istanbul was in a strategic position on the eastern border of the Roman Empire. With the division of the Roman Empire in 395, the city became the capital of the Byzantine Empire. During this period, the city became an important trade center and became rich. However, after the Crusade of 1204, the city came under the control of the Latin Empire. Istanbul was recaptured by the Byzantine Empire in 1261 and became the capital once again. However, the power and wealth of the city did not return to its former state. With the rise of the Ottoman Empire, the fate of Istanbul changed. Preparations for the conquest. Osman Bey, the founder of the Ottoman Empire, took the first step to conquer Istanbul. However, before the city was conquered, Osman Bey, the founder of the Ottoman Empire, died in 1326. Other leaders of the Ottoman Empire also tried to conquer Istanbul but were unsuccessful. Fatih Sultan Mehmed, one of the most famous leaders of the Ottoman Empire, began preparations to conquer Istanbul. After ascending to the throne in 1451, Fatih Sultan Mehmed made the necessary military and political preparations to conquer Istanbul. In 1452, the construction of Rumeli Hisar on the Anatolian side was completed, and thus the control of the Istanbul Strait passed into the hands of the Ottoman Empire. The conquest. After Fatih Sultan Mehmed completed his preparations, the siege of Istanbul began on April 6, 1453. The army of the Ottoman Empire started to fight against the Byzantine forces in the city. The Byzantine forces in the city tried to resist against the army of the Ottoman Empire but were unsuccessful. On May 29, 1453, the army of the Ottoman Empire entered the city and the conquest of Istanbul took place. Fatih Sultan Mehmed performed his prayers in Hagia Sophia Church and took control of the city. This event increased the power of the Ottoman Empire and Istanbul became the capital of the Ottoman Empire. After the conquest. The conquest of Istanbul is a historical turning point. This event not only increased the power of the Ottoman Empire but also caused a great impact in the Islamic world. After the conquest, a large-scale construction activity was initiated in Istanbul, and the city was rebuilt. Hagia Sophia Church was converted into a mosque and became one of the most important cultural heritages of the Ottoman Empire. Today, Istanbul is still a city famous for its cultural and historical richness. The conquest of Istanbul is one of the most important events that make up the historical texture of this city and still holds its significance. The conquest of Istanbul and its place in history. The conquest of Istanbul is considered to be not only a historical turning point but also one of the most important victories of the Ottoman Empire. After the conquest, Istanbul became the capital of the Ottoman Empire, and the power of the empire continued to expand. The conquest of Istanbul is also of great importance from a historical and cultural perspective. After the conquest, a large-scale construction activity was initiated in Istanbul, and the city was rebuilt. Hagia Sophia Church was converted into a mosque and became one of the most important cultural heritages of the Ottoman Empire. Today, Istanbul is still a city famous for its cultural and historical richness. The conquest of Istanbul holds an important place in the historical texture of Istanbul. The symbol of Istanbul, Hagia Sophia Mosque, is still visited by many people. Topkapı Palace and other historical buildings on the historical peninsula of Istanbul also reflect the rich history of Istanbul. Istanbul is considered to be an important city in world history. After the conquest, the impact of Istanbul was felt not only in the Ottoman Empire but also in Europe and Asia. Istanbul still has an important place in world political and cultural life due to its historical and geographical location. The conquest of Istanbul holds an important place in history and is one of the events that changed the course of history. The conquest of Istanbul is also an important turning point in the history of the Ottoman Empire and played a significant role in the rise of the empire.